Ancestry.com 2026, tip number 4. And this one is called ideas. I don't know if everybody realized, but Ancestry has a new button at the top of profiles, and it's right here. It's called Ideas. Before we get into what this ideas means and what options there are, I want to point out just two really quick things. This is a tag. This is a custom tag, Craig Family Line, that allows me to put it on any profile that I want. This is handy for me because if you notice, her last name is not Craig, but she's married into the Craig line. So I can just click on this and see everybody who has this custom tag. The next thing I want to point out is her birth. It has a lot more information than just, hey, she was born. And this was something that we showed in a previous tip where Ancestry's AI can add a little bit more description. Her profile on Ancestry has a lot of information already documented in it, and that's going to be important when I show you the ideas. Look at all the different sources I have and related to her family. So let's go ahead and click on the ideas and see what this is about. Right now, there are 3 different sections. So I mentioned the Craig Family Line tag. Let me go ahead and click on Set Research Status Tags. Something that I have never used a lot. I usually use the tags for custom, but I have not used them for some of the real popular items that people use on ancestry profiles. And a couple of it is, if you notice, they took her profile, they analyzed it, and they are suggesting these tags. So original sources. They're saying there are multiple primary sources, including the census and the vital records, that actually prove some of her dates, her birth, her marriage, and her death. So I can apply that tag if I want. Let me go ahead and click apply tag, and you'll see what happens up at the top. Original sources now appears. And if you want to get rid of that tag, just click it again, and that tag disappears. Now, here's a little bug that I found. You notice what else disappears? My custom tag disappears. So I'll have to go and add that back in. Birth documented. I kind of like this tag because as you start working on profiles in the early 1800s and sometimes 1700s, we don't always have the birth documented. A lot of times we'll have the death documented, but we don't have the birth documented. So this is kind of a really interesting tag to add. And this says multiple sources are proving that her birth is documented. So I've got that tag. I'm going to keep that tag. And then the marriage is documented. And I can click on apply that tag if I'd like as well. Let's go back and go to the second item, identify unique personal details. This one I really like. If you like writing biographies, especially on Wikitree, this might be something that you could add to a biography that you might not have normally thought about. And I'm going to show you what I mean. So as I click on the C tags, it'll analyze her information and her profile, and it says that she's a widow. Okay. So Mary died 14 years after her husband did. So I could apply that tag as well. And you notice that adds the second tag. So this might be something that you want to add to a biography. You could add it down below or to her life story for her death. You could add that information here and say that she lived 14 years past the death of her husband and she never remarried. And again, just to get rid of it, you click on tag applied and it will remove it. So a couple little interesting ideas that you can look at. This third one, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail with it, but if you notice, it's saying that I'm going to be missing her 1930 census. So if I click on get started, again, it'll analyze some things that are missing. It'll analyze some of the data that I might need to pick up. And the first thing is we'll say is, hey, you don't have the 1930 census cited, so start researching. And it gives you ideas of where to search, what the query could be. If you copy it, I copy it, and then you can come over and put it into a Google Doc or whatever type of document you want and have an action plan for this particular person. I tend not to use these, but I'd be curious to see if you use them, if you have action plans, if you have any way of documenting things that are missing that you want to include. Maybe you want to just have it as a note on your ancestry profile, or you bring it over to a particular document. So if you do use this feature, let me know in the comments how you use it and if it's useful. And that will cover ideas. See you next time.